Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. I am Professor Hassan and you are watching my channel Professor Hassan Hamayu. Insha'Allah, tomorrow on Sunday I will conduct a written test for the preparation of PPSC lecturer statistics exam, and in that test there is a topic of inference, and today I will discuss very important concepts as well as the questions of that topic of inference. I request everyone, don't miss a single MCQ of today's video because every MCQ is essential and compulsory. Let's start. Number one, I will have to tell you important concepts. What is inference? Actually, it is a procedure of drawing inferences, of drawing conclusions about the unknown population parameter with the help of the information contained in the sample. It has two parts. Number one is estimation, and number two is testing of hypothesis. The word estimation is telling you something. We estimate the population parameter with the help of the information contained in the sample. For example, if there is a university, there are more than 20,000 students and we are interested to know the average height of a student. We take a sample of 50 students. We find out its average height. It is X bar 62 inches. It is estimation about the unknown population parameter. And what is testing of hypothesis? There is a statement given to us, for example, H naught, the population parameter of the height of the students is 65 inches. H1 is mu is not equal to 65 inches. It is a statement and we check it with the help of the sample information contained in the sample, whether that information about the hypothesis is true or not. It is called testing of hypothesis. So what did you learn? Inference is to draw the conclusions, to draw the inferences. The word is inference about the population parameter. It has two parts. Number one is estimation. We estimate the population parameter which is unknown with the help of the sample. And testing of hypothesis, there is a statement given to us and we check it with the help of the sample data, whether that information, that statement is correct or not. Estimation has two parts. Estimate has two parts. Number one is point estimate. Number second is interval estimate. If I say X bar is equal to 1600 hours, with the help of the sample data, we have calculated the average lifetime of an electric bulb company, and electric bulb timing is 1600 hours. That is the average lifetime. It is a single value. It is a point estimate, a value calculated from the sample to estimate the population parameter. If it is a single value, it contains a single value, it is point estimate. And whenever we have an interval of values and we believe that, we claim that the population parameter must lie in that given interval, that is called interval estimate. And dear students, today's every question is important for the written test as well as for the interview. And then a very important question for the paper as well as interview: estimator and estimate. Estimator is a formula. Estimator is a function of the random variable. Function of the random variable. Why? Because X bar is equal to summation X over N. X values. If I take first sample, X values I will take. If I take another random sample, I will take a different set of values. That's why X bar is a function. It is a rule for the sum of X over N. It is a function of the random variable because I will change the sample values again and again. That's why X bar, which is estimator, which is a formula, it is the function of the random variable, and estimate is a value which we calculate from the sample, and we are estimating the population parameter. Estimator is a formula, summation x over n. It is a function of the random variable. Why it is a random variable? Because whenever we take random sample again and again, it will consist of different values. For example, there is a player, cricketer Babar Azam. He has played 200 plus matches. I take a sample of 10 matches. I calculate x bar 1. I take another sample of 10 matches. X bar will be different. That's why x bar is a function of the random variable. A very important question. Criteria for good point estimator. As we know, the properties of a good point estimator: unbiasedness, consistency, efficiency, sufficiency. And unbiasedness, if whenever we have expectation of x bar, the expectation of the sample statistic equal to population parameter, we have unbiased estimator. X bar and median are unbiased and consistent estimators of mu. Then the next question is consistency, which is also called the property of large sample. A very important question. Property of large sample. Why it is called large sample? Actually, when we increase our sample size, it approaches to infinity and the variance of the sample statistic becomes 0. In other words, I can say an estimator, which is theta cap, is a consistent estimator of theta whenever it becomes closer and closer to the population parameter. When we increase the sample size, the variation becomes closer to 0 and the estimator becomes close to the population parameter. Then we have consistent estimator, we have consistency. It is a property of large sample. Increase the size, it is large sample. Next question is efficiency. Whenever we have two unbiased estimators, for example, theta 1, it is unbiased, theta 1 cap, it is unbiased estimator of theta. Theta 2 cap, it is also unbiased estimator of theta. Then variance of theta 2 cap over variance of theta 1 cap greater than 1. Whenever it is greater than 1, then that will be more efficient. Theta 1 will be more efficient than theta 2 cap. A very important question. And one more thing, variance of x bar is equal to sigma square over n, and variance of median will be equal to sigma square over n into pi by 2. If I take the efficiency, variance of median over variance of x bar, that will be 1.57 greater than 1. Next, if we want to check the efficiency of the biased estimators, then we use MSE. MSE means mean square error, and mean square error is always equal to expectation of theta cap minus theta whole square, and it can also be written as variance of theta cap plus bias whole square. Now sufficiency. An estimator is said to be sufficient estimator of theta whenever it uses all the information contained in the sample. Now a very important question I will discuss with you. The concept of consistency, the concept of efficiency, and the concept of sufficiency was given by the same person, only one, R.A. Fisher. Next, method of point estimation are: number 1, MLE, number 2, method of movements, number 3, least square method. Next question, method of maximum likelihood, MLE, estimators, was introduced by R.A. Fisher, the same person who introduced consistency, efficiency, sufficiency. The same person introduced MLE, maximum likelihood estimator, in 1922, and method of movements was introduced by Cole Pearson, and method of least square was introduced by Gauss and Markov. Next, MLE estimators, maximum likelihood estimators, are more efficient than method of movements. Another important question: maximum likelihood estimators are consistent, efficient and sufficient, but not necessarily unbiased. Next, ML estimators, maximum likelihood estimators, are applicable for both discrete as well as continuous data, continuous random variables. Next question is, least square method is based on linear estimation, not quadratic, not cubic. It is based on linear estimation. Next question is very important. The concept of confidence interval was given by Polish English American statistician Jerzy Neyman in 1937. In 1937, who gave the same person gave the idea of testing of hypothesis, confidence interval as well as testing of hypothesis. Next question is very important. What is the relationship between confidence interval and testing of hypothesis? For example, dear students, H naught is theta is equal to theta naught. If this value falls in the confidence interval region, then we accept this hypothesis, otherwise we reject it. Whenever the value of the testing of hypothesis H naught lies in the interval, then we accept it, otherwise we reject it. Next question is 31. Simple hypothesis. Whenever all the parameters of the distribution are specified, we have simple hypothesis, and whenever all the parameters of the distribution are not specified, then we have composite hypothesis. And what is actually, this is simple hypothesis which belongs to parameters of the distribution. Next is composite, when parameters are not defined. Next is exact hypothesis, which has a unique value. For example, H naught is mu is equal to 65 inches. It is a unique value. It is exact. Inexact, whenever we have H naught, mu greater than equal to 65. So what did you learn? In simple hypothesis, all the parameters of the distribution are defined, are explained. Composite, in which all the parameters of the distribution are not defined. In exact, we have a unique value of the H naught. In inexact, we do not have a unique value of the population parameter. And one important thing, simple hypothesis must be exact, and exact may or may not be simple. One more concept, inexact is also called composite hypothesis. Next question is, what is test statistic? A very important concept. The word is showing that test statistic, the sample statistic which is used for testing the null hypothesis. The sample statistic which provides us the basis for testing the null hypothesis is called test statistic, and it has the sampling distribution. For example, sampling distribution of X bar. Next question is acceptance and rejection region. Acceptance and rejection region. Dear students, all the values of the test statistic which we have discussed earlier, all the values of the test statistic which are consistent with H naught, if H naught is true, it is acceptance region, and all the values of the test statistic which are not consistent with H naught, when H naught is 2, it is called rejection region, and rejection region is also called critical region. And a value which separates acceptance region from critical region, it is called critical value. Next question is type 1 error. Type 1 error, there is a mistake. If we reject H naught when H naught is true, we have commit a type 1 error, and type 2 error we accept H naught when H naught is false. And what is power of the test? Power of the test, when we reject H naught, when H naught is false, it is the power of the test. It is a complement of beta. Actually it is 1 minus beta. Next question is, alpha is the level of significance, a small probability of rejecting H naught when H naught is assumed to be true. Next, alpha and beta can be decreased by increasing the sample size. Next question is, empirical distribution function is biased and consistent estimator of cumulative distribution function. Next question is very important, SPRT. SPRT stands for sequential probability ratio test. It was given by Abraham Wald. A test in which we check the null hypothesis on each successive observation. It is called SPRT, and SPRT terminates with probability equals to 1. Next, error bar on an error bar chart represents confidence interval about mean, correct. Standard error of the mean, correct. Standard deviation of the mean, correct. Next question, very very important, when using the normal distribution to obtain the bounds for 99.73% values. In a population, the interval generally will be dash, then the interval obtained by the percentage if Shabby-Sheff's theorem is assumed. Actually, if I talk about mu plus minus 3 sigma, in normal distribution it contains 99.73%, and mu plus minus 2 sigma contains 95.45% of the values. In Shabby-Sheff's, mu plus minus 2 sigma contains 88% almost. So it is wider than this much. What did you learn? In normal distribution, the percentage of the values, the interval will be wider than if I calculate for the Shabby-Sheff's. It will be wider. If they talk about Shabby-Sheff's, that will be narrower. Next question is also very important. Let x1, x2 up to so on xn be a random sample from the normal population. Mu and sigma square are unknown. The shortest expected confidence interval for mu obtained by using standard normal distribution incorrect, F distribution incorrect, chi-square incorrect, T will be the correct one. Next, confidence limit refer to. Why we make the confidence interval? For range and standard deviation incorrect, median and standard error incorrect, mode and standard deviation incorrect, mean and standard error is the correct one. Next, in order to test the effect of certain diet on the weight gain of animals, we use, actually there are the animals. For example, we want to measure their weight, and we will have to do before and after the diet. It is called paired T distribution. A very important, we will use paired T distribution. Both samples are from the same population, and before and after. Actually, the technique of variance was first derived by R.A. Fisher, who introduced consistency, efficiency, sufficiency, MLE, the same person, analysis of variance. Next question, number 60, analysis of variance utilizes F distribution. Next question is very important. If the variability due to chance decreases the value of F, what is F? It is S square B over S square E. It is between, it is within. Actually, this is chance. What is the question? I will read again. If the variability due to chance decreases when the denominator decreases, this is the denominator, then the whole value will be increased. A very important concept. If in the question they ask the chance value increases, then F will be decreased. Next question is, The analysis of variance is based on the assumption populations are normal. Number 2, populations have same variances. Number 3, random errors are normally distributed. All are correct. Next question is homogeneity of several variances can be tested by Bartlett test. Customarily, the large variance in the variance ratio for F test is taken in the numerator. We take in the numerator. Next, the ratio of between sample variance S square B and S square E within it follows F distribution. Next, equality of several normal population means can be tested by, I will discuss with you a very important concept. Whenever we are discussing about two proportions, we are doing with the Z test. Whenever we are testing one population mean, for example, it will be by Z or T. And we know when Z will be used when sigma is known or sigma is unknown and n is greater than 30, and when T will be used when sigma is unknown but n is less than 30. And if we are doing the testing of two population means, we use Z test or T test. Now if we are doing the testing of three means or more than three means, we move towards F test. A very important. And whenever we are testing two variances, we are moving towards F test, and whenever we have several variances, we move towards Bartlett test. Next question is equality of two population variances can be tested by F test. Next question, the idea of testing of hypothesis was given by the same person. Confidence interval was also given by Niemann, J. Niemann. Next, which is a research hypothesis? A, two population means are equal? No. 2, the population correlation coefficient is equal to 0? No. C, two populations follow the same distribution? No. D, intelligent people have more reading habit. That is a research hypothesis. Next question is for the chi-square test in the analysis of categorical data, the rejection region is always located in the upper tail of the distribution. Next question is very important. In a Poisson goodness of fit test having k sets of observed frequencies, k observed frequencies with estimated value of lambda is the only parameter, then the chi-square statistic has degree of freedom. Dear students, the degree of freedom will be k minus m minus 1. M is unknown parameter and it is only 1 in Poisson. So k minus 1 minus 1, that will be k minus 2. A very important. Next question is to test the significance of the agreement between the observed values and the expected values of the data, we use chi-square test. The minimum size of the cell expected frequencies in a contingency table for the validity of chi-square statistic is 5. Next question, the degree of freedom for chi-square in case of dichotomized 2, it will be 1. Next, the degree of freedom will be 1 because it is r minus 1 into c minus 1, 2 minus 1 into 2 minus 1, it will be 1. Assalamu alaikum.